Hello and welcome to top four of the Portland Materia Cup. On the top, we have a player that goes by Helvetica Standard, and on the bottom, we
Corey
have
G.
Corey G. Yes, and
We have some interesting decks here, especially on Corey's side. We have our Mono Fire Icons.
Yep, we have Warrior Light versus Warrior Light versus Mono Fire, and it's really cool and interesting to see Mono Fire at these events, and it's actually going the distance.
Yeah. So what kind of cards in particular are we looking out for in the Mono Fire list?
So normally, the first thing I think of with Mono Fire is board wipes. They have a lot of different kinds they can play, but nowadays normally it's the demon, and the demon is in Corey's deck. But this is an icon deck, so I'm looking at the list right now, and I got my answer. I was curious how deep we were going, and it's pretty deep. There are Deons and Bahamut in here, so.
And Joshua's.
Yeah, Joshua Clive, I kind of expected a little bit, but I was curious if we were going to see some light or dark, and we do.
Yeah, and we're seeing some pretty substantial numbers. So 2 Deons, 1 Bahamut. But then looking over at Joshua, we have 2 and 2 of the earliers and 3 Phoenixes on the 3-drop. I've honestly not really seen Joshua played too terribly much, so I'm very excited to see what all this card can do in this matchup, especially. This is a tough matchup. Mono Fire being a deck, like you mentioned, pretty heavy with board wipes, pretty heavy with removal. Warrior of Light has pretty good recursion, durability, card draw, and good access to threats and removal. It's a pretty well balanced deck, but definitely leaning towards like pretty heavy firepower once its backups get set up. So I will be curious where this match kind of goes. And Corey is starting off with a Fang.
I think the only target here, is Vermilion Bird.
Okay, so really just
that's interesting.
Get our backups going.
Whoa, that's interesting. So actually, that's so crazy. I think it was last set. I was playing Mono Fire a little bit near the end, and actually, no. When I was judging at Cash, I brought up I might want to make a Mono Fire because I think Joe was playing this backup, the Vermilion Bird.
Yes.
And I was like, can you make a fire deck with like 30 backups and Vermilion Bird? Well, back then you didn't have a way to tutor it. Miyu doesn't tutor for it. So we didn't have a way to search for it and just fire, unless you like Shinryu, right? Now Fang can search for it. I might have to go back and try to see if I can make a 30 backup deck with this card now.
Oh, we're sending you in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do
way
this.
Down.
Fang searching Lassie, I'm thinking Final Fantasy 13 cards, right? That's not a Final Fantasy 13 card, but it's a Lassie.
As long as it's part of the Fabula Nova Crystallis.
Oh. Wow. So my brain just exploded from that Fang play.
Woke you up.
Yeah. I'll be building some Mono Fire decks now.
All right. Yeah, so a little slow start though, backup wise for the Mono Fire deck. I mean, we did have the Elwyn into the Fang into the Vermilion Bird, but that is fairly costly, not super efficient. Warrior of Light player, of course, being a little bit more efficient despite the 4 colors on their side of the field, and of course a Tyro into a Bosch. Excellent first damage for him there. And we do see a set 1 card coming back that we haven't seen for a little bit. Lebro. This is Sam, a standard.
What does Lebro do, Sam?
She pumps all your fire forwards.
Yeah, that is a old school classic. I remember back in the day when like all the monocolor decks played their backup that pumped.
Wait, what do you mean all the monocolor decks? There were even some of the non-monocolor decks that were just predominantly one color, and they would still try to play it.
Yeah.
Like you could play Water Wind, and people would
Still play
occasionally
Waka?
just put in the Waka.
Yeah.
Yep. Because if you have Lena and all of your knights, and it makes your knights so big. All right, and we did get a ping off of our Bosch. Hit a
I was
Burn Hilder.
curious if this Bosch was going to get a
Ding.
Lunith or a Tyro. Lunith
Looks like
for
Luna.
another Warrior Light, but Tyro here, you could easily play the Tyro. Oh, there's some Warrior Lights in hand. Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
we're our hand is loaded at the moment.
But that's what I was thinking is we could Tyro for a
side.
Warrior Light, but we already have it. So
yeah. Unfortunately, we are gonna have to pitch a card from hand to play it.
I think I saw a Cloud, and I would Cloud this Fang because it has 5k on it from Brynhilder.
And it does draw us a card, and then we could potentially remove and then draw another card.
Yeah.
We would have to give up the Zidane in hand, I believe, for it.
Or Materasu.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like Corey has his own Amaterasu.
I feel like you almost have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's not going to kill the Cloud, I feel like it would be a worthwhile play. But
are we discarding?
Maybe we're actually going for the.
Oh wait, is this Zach?
Oh, okay. This is
okay.
a
That makes more sense
as well.
For a second, I thought the Fang was 8+1, but it's 7+1. So it actually does die to the Zach. But we'll draw a card off of
give us our
the
card draw. Yep, excellent. Drew into an Ifrit. Not necessarily a standard card we see in these Order of Light decks, but definitely a powerful one, especially without having access to Cecil like we did in some of the more recent builds. Clive Ifrit is an easy, little package to kind of put in there instead of the Cecil package.
Yeah, and it's looking like the Warrior Light player is playing the 4 CP Clive, and I was when I was playing at Worlds with the 4 CP Clive, I mean that was the only real Clive that could prime, right? But like you said, Cecil, I had 3 Zidane and 3 Clive and 3 Ifrit. My point, and 3 Warrior Light, they all have haste. So that was my point when I was playing it at Worlds, but we kind of lost the Cecil. So I was curious if these Warrior Light decks that played Clive Ifrit, if they'd go to the 3 CP Clive, mainly because, again, more attrition, right? It draws a card. You don't always have to cast Mist Dragon. You can just get rid of valuable cards. More graveyard hate is always a good thing. And also the fact that, like, you don't even have to necessarily prime. It can use specials of RFG icons. You can remove your own Ifrit and then special with them. So that's I don't know. It's just an interesting thought, but we're still opting for the extra haste.
Yeah, I wonder if there at least is like room for like a 1-in-1, right?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of decks doing that actually, and I don't know. It's hard to make an opinion on what's right and what's wrong. But obviously, the 4 CP one having haste is usually towards aggressiveness versus 3 CP being more mid-range. But I don't know. I don't know which one's better and which one's not. I think this is I could be wrong. I think that's a signature Warrior of Light. I think it is because the 10,000 is gold.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this deck on Helvetica's side, quite blinged out. Looking quite beautiful.
All right, we see the Ifrit targeting the Warrior Light twice, and we're going to cancel that. And get in there.
All right, 1 Phoenix down.
Phoenix down.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what What are we looking for on Corey's side here? Ifrit was like the perfect card to get rid of this Warrior Light, so maybe we're looking for another one of those.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's a priming deck, right? That is going to be the primary way that we're dealing with and interacting with the board. But I mean, that, and honestly, a Dion would be acceptable even.
Yeah, Bahamut does 9,000, but you could Dion into Bahamut into Zach, and you draw a card off of that.
Yep.
I don't know how
You
many.
could even, if we have like the small Joshua, it's hard to see what's going on in her hand at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think the 3 CP Joshua is doing enough damage yet. We're not that far into the game. Um, if there's 10 cards in the break zone, this demon can get rid of the Warrior Light also. Yo, this demon's a 10k.
Okay, yeah, LeBro, bringing it up. Unfortunately, Warrior of Light also being a 10k, pretty relevant. Did we count how many cards in the break zone? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 9 exactly?
Wait, Materasu maybe? Yes.
I believe so. Yep, and this we do have the Warrior Light to be able to follow up for the clean kill here.
That's unfortunate. We paid 7, and Helvetica just had to pay 3.
Yeah, that is going to be a rough exchange. It's gonna slowly build this in Helvetica's favor.
I think another. We clearly don't have it, but Clive into Ifrit, I think, was another pretty good draw.
Yeah.
We do play Jekt. It costs 1, but it is a 10k, so it does do 10k to the Warrior Light.
Yeah. Of note, Clive into Ifrit would have gotten
Jekt.
Amaterasu as well.
Yes, true. Oh, we're doing the Zach? I'm surprised. We could have done the Warrior Light because they both would have done 10k.
Yeah, they're both 10. I wonder if we forgot?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, we do lose our board, right? The Jekt is a full fight, so...
Yeah.
But, I mean, we didn't pay too much for the Jekt, and Warrior of Light is quite a card.
I really like Jekt and Mono Fire decks. I know Magisa's been playing it for a little while. It's a little different in that sense, but like these Mono Fire decks that have 5 backups, playing 3 Jeks in those decks, it's so good. It's so efficient.
Yeah. One of the things that we don't have with the Jekt, though, that we do see in a lot of Mono Fire decks is the Minwu into Jekt, because Jekt is so cheap. We don't have any Minwus in this deck, so that line is unfortunately cut off. I do really love always seeing that line come out.
Luna Freya here. We're doing Tyro. I'm guessing this is for Refia. It's got to be, right?
Yeah. We have more than enough things. Wool will be able to kill Jekt alone, just with the untap. And then what? We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Warriors of Light.
Yep, and 4.
And then we'll have tapped. 4. Yeah, we'll tap down. We do have the Amaterasu.
Miss Dragon? No Miss Dragon. Well,
Yep. So that definitely buys him a very crucial turn there. Praying for an EX, not gonna find it today, but gets to go ahead and go to his next turn. So we're just at a pretty interesting spot though, where Helvetica has what, 3 cards in hand,
I think it's 4.
whereas Corey is top decking. And if we had to compare boards, they're fairly comparable, but I would put the edge on Helvetica's, but the sheer card advantage is pretty stark. Mont is definitely a card and can start clawing this back. I do believe we have an Amaterasu still in hand on Helvetica's side, though.
Yes, we do. And
So after all this goes and our backups get sacked, our targets get declared, I have a feeling we may see that come out.
so it's not a cost to it's not a cost for Montleonis to send him to the break zone, and it's also not separated. So you won't lose a backup here, but we do have to target the cards in the break zone. Yeah.
Yep. But we are still gonna pay 8.
So we should keep
We
our
don't
backup
have to lose
here.
our backups, but we are still going to lose that Montleonis at the end of this turn. The wool is going to tap.
Yep.
Finish that off.
So interesting though, if Amaterasu wasn't there, Terra would have got back a summon and Clive would have drew a card. We would have had 5 CP. We could have primed the Clive.
Yeah.
And that may
I
have
don't know if
turned
you
it
saw
around.
it, but we did draw the Refia.
Oh, that's a really big draw.
Yep, and we're going to go ahead and tuck away the eject, probably on top. You know, just guarantee that we're not going to run into an EX burst. And we drew the Lena as well, so now we have Lena backup in case Refia does die.
You know, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to look right now how many EX bursts are on this mono fire deck, because sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's few. It just depends on what cards are in your deck.
It's pretty few due to the fact that most of our forwards are primals.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's 3. I'm guessing that's 3 Ifrits. So Ifrit doesn't burst. I'm silly.
It's two selfies and 1 Terra.
Okay. So no full-on defensive bursts.
Yep, nothing that's really going to, dramatically change the board state. And honestly, if I am Corey, I'm thinking this is probably game at this point. I mean, we can try to go for Mont again, I believe.
Yes.
I think that's our only line. Our opponent will get to spin something away.
Double Ifrit.
Yeah, that's wild. So we're gonna go for Clive Terra. I have a feeling this one's gonna resolve, but we are going to put some stuff away before damage ever happens.
I think I would be removing my own Ifrit here if I were Corey.
Yeah, to gain the ability.
Yes, and okay. And then getting back, I don't know, an Ifrit, 1 CP Ifrit, I think we had. I don't think there's any 7 CP, like, Primal Ifrits left in the deck. But
I don't believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Choosing a Amaterasu. Okay, so we're gonna tuck in response. And that makes sense. Terra has haste.
I think we're just checking over if we want to ping off this Terra.
It will live. It's a 6K. But
oh, right. We do have LeBro in play.
You got bro.
I got by the LeBro.
But
It got me.
Technically, Corey's not dead here. But it's going to be a big cost.
Wait.
It should definitely not be dead here.
Yep. I think they're forgetting their own LeBro.
Okay, well.
Unfortunate.
We're going to catch it, but maybe not.
Probably not, I imagine, at this point. Just making sure there was no other damage that was dealt to the board there. No.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
But I was going to say Corey's technically not dead here because the Vermilion Bird can sack 3 backups and 10k 2 things. But that costs 3 backups, so that
it's not dead, but it does put him in such a disadvantageous spot, and especially with the Lena S ability option. He's got a Mist Dragon hand. I don't know if there is enough power to potentially knock him out of the game at this point. Oh, and yep, he's going to go for an additional.
This is the pressure.
Yep, and he's going to apply for a prime. Go ahead, remove the Mont. And
so now
I don't know if there is any. Even
you have
the
to Amaterasu it. We do have Amaterasu, but. Yeah, we have to Ifrit something and then Ama. We're still technically alive, but we're using everything. Oh, we drew the Mist Dragon.
Yeah, he had the Mist Dragon as well. This is going to go down.
Now the Vermilion Bird doesn't save us.
No. We can kill the 2 10Ks, but we die to the 2 7Ks. And we have no defensive bursts. One damage and 2 damage.
That's game.
All right. Going to game 2. Helvetica took that one down nicely.
Yeah, so some things I want to comment on. And Corey's deck doesn't have too much of this, but it has some of it. Warrior Light, we all know that Warrior Light's a good deck, and a lot of the reasons is because they play cards and they replace themselves. Mono Fire has access to cards like that, but with the priming cards, sometimes they're situational. Sometimes you don't want to play them unless your opponent has something on the field, right? Like, are you really going to play a Dion and just let it sit there? Like a proactive Dion doesn't really do much. A proactive,
they're very
Joshua doesn't really do
cards.
much. Yes, so the 3CP Clive can be a card that just sits there, but sometimes Mono Fire can play cards that can be proactive like that, and we do see Corey have some of them, but not nearly as many as normal. So. Being a reactive deck when Warrior Light's a setup deck, that might make it a bad matchup for Corey.
Yeah, the fact that the Warrior of Light gets like full time to set up without dealing with any kind of proactive pressure. That's just kind of exactly what the Warrior Light player wants to be able to do. I do think this is just a kind of rough pairing.
I did just realize Corey's playing Mono Fire and has red sleeves. Respect.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta commit to the bit.
Yeah. Look, I'm an Orchid sleeve gamer. Although recently I haven't really done it very much. I guess you could make the argument Orchid could be the lightning element. I don't know, but generally speaking, I am that kind of player that will try to pick a sleeve that doesn't match anything in the game. So, generically black or white, right? Or, I don't know, like brown's probably a good color or something that doesn't match an element, I'm that guy.
Yeah. I personally have committed. I play, unfortunately, too many different card games. I've committed to the bit of I only buy certain colors for certain card games. I may use like a different set for different events sometimes, but when they are at home and for locals, every single Final Fantasy card I have is sleeved in the same sleeve or the same color sleeve.
And you don't use that color for any other game.
Correct. So if I see a purple sleeve, I see a purple sleeve in my office, I know a Final Fantasy card has gotten loose. Yep. All of my One Piece cards are in blue sleeves.
I think I like that organization, to be honest. I like it.
Yeah, when you're juggling too many of them, it's definitely been a thing. Gundam sleeves have come all in those nice clear snow white ones. So, well, it's just kind of what I've been doing to help stay organized. And I'm sure everyone out there has dealt with the onslaught of trying to stay organized with your card collection.
Yep.
It's a never-ending task.
All right, we see Elwyn go get the new Joshua. I was curious what this Elwyn was going to get because it's early in the game and I'm not sure exactly what Corey's aiming for with the Elwyn. Like we said, a lot of the deck is reactive, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I feel like if he was against most other decks that don't have an exceptionally high count of bursts, 22 count on Helvetica's side, Clive would be the go-to, right? Whereas go get the 4-drop Clive, go ahead, apply some hasty pressure, try to play out whatever else we can in our hand and draw some cards back up. I don't know if that's where you're at, but that's where I would be in most matchups. This matchup, just because of the damage, I just don't know if I can afford to swing in and give them like a first damage Tyro that early.
Yeah. I think I would be leaning towards the 3 CP Clive, but...
Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a great early game play. The Joshua is a little interesting. So I mentioned it last game. It can do like a little bit of chip damage. It's a fairly inconsequential forward. I do like the Clive a lot more. A, you're getting the card draw. B, you're getting some amount of control over the game where you get to remove something. And then C, we're a 7K rather than the 5K. Sooner rather than later, Helvetica is going to get a Warrior of Light out. As soon as that's out, if Josh has not primed, he is dead.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of interesting. In this scenario, since there's no forwards on Helvetica's side of the field, there's no stack from Joshua, because it says choose a forward or opponent controls. So we get the prime into this Phoenix, and basically it's going to be a draw two, unless we get pretty unlucky. Actually, I think it's always a draw two because it's
okay. That is quite interesting to just getting the Josh just to immediately prime.
Yes. So it is a little risky versus Amaterasu, but I think in this exact scenario, I don't think the odds of Amaterasu happening is very likely. So this is in a way like a pseudo free forward, right? A 0 CP forward, because we paid 4 and got 4.
Would it have been better to have done it off the 1 CP Joshua though?
It would have been the same, I think.
Oh yeah, because the priming cost.
It's triple fire, yeah. But we would have put a card to the bottom of the deck, technically.
And more importantly, like you mentioned, it would have generated a stack. Whereas this did not give a chance for a stack to happen until the priming was
for example, if Helvetica had a Brynhilder and you played the 1 CP
Yeah.
Joshua, it would have been toast.
You guys. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So this is a fairly safe, proactive play that he actually can get in.
And I think it is 100% to hit, because I think if you hit Dion or Bahamut, I think it gets 16 cards, and those are 16 cards. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah, fire or cat 16.
Yeah,
That's
so
correct.
it's 100% to hit. At first, I was thinking the light cards are
Missing
misses.
on the light cards.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's not true. And we see a Bosch for the Lunathier, and didn't hit a burst, but we have all the elements for Warrior Light.
Of note, we did take out our one of Shantoto. Probably not super relevant. Has become less and less relevant in Warrior of Light lists. Kind of going forward. There's so much removal between all the Refias, the Warrior of Lights, Ferris, especially Clive Ifrit. Probably is enough damage already going to be able to be split that we can just kind of deal with things without needing the Shantoto.
Are we contemplating a Montleonis turn? I think we are. This is like discard 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Red 3, tap 2. Looks like that's what we're going for.
Sam, have you ever played Monofire with like Montleonis?
I have.
I'm a very big fan of Montleonis.
It's very fun. It has been one of the most fun things to do. That and cast eject for 1 CP.
Yes.
Those are the two things that I really enjoy doing.
I played it in like OTK style decks with like Hien, but that's not really where I necessarily like it. I like it in the Minwoo style, like what you were talking about. But it's really interesting in this kind of build because, like, I mean, like this Clive, for example, like we're drawing 2 cards this turn, right?
we're drawing 2 cards, disrupting a lot of stuff out of break zones, getting haste, killing a forward, putting out large bodies, and we know Shantoto is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Shantoto was like a light bulb switch on Corey's side, but I mean, this is exactly what he needs to do at this stage to just really put some crazy pressure on Helvetica. Looks like some cards are going to go to the remove pile here. 2 cards coming in for Corey. That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Bosch down. Still have the option to prime with our Clive at any point. We're probably not going to. Probably just going to start crashing in with a bunch of damage here.
Yeah. I couldn't get a glimpse of Corey's hand if Amonrasu's there or not, but if it is, I think I'm attacking with everything. If it's not, I'm debating if I want to only go to damage 2 here.
Only damage 2 is it's very weird and always a little suspect against Warrior of Light decks. The more cards you give them, they can come back with some very, very explosive turns. If we swing into like mono EX burst here, it could just be disastrous. But on the other side, we're kind of wasting a lot of our potential damage and being able to threaten. If we did get him to 5 points of damage, 2 more points of damage is a lot more reasonable than 5 in 1 turn. So usually if we're gonna 2 to 5 them, we need the Mont turn to happen. But if we have any kind of response, I think leaving them at 2 damage here and then just trying to go for the crackback and try to make it the 2 to 5 here could definitely be a thing. Or 2 to 7. see what Helvetica has in store for us. 4 coming out. Oh, well, one
Well,
Shantoto gone, but not necessarily all of them.
I actually like this play because I think the Helvetica kind of what I said before. If you have Alma, you're attacking. If you don't, you're not attacking. I don't put Corey on Amaterasu here, so I like the Shantoto play.
Yep. And if you don't have Shantoto, this is a great spot to be for Helvetica.
Yeah. That being said, hindsight here, we have 2 backups untapped. We could have used that towards Montleonis if
saved a card.
yes.
Yeah.
So if we
I was a little
those...
curious why we were doing it like that. I mean, I know we had the Mutsuki to potentially deal 1 extra K point of damage, but I don't think that was in the realm of like really being necessary there. And so there's a lot of things to kind of consider from the game at this point. For Helvetica, what else is kind of remaining in hand? The potential to just have Warrior Light in one of these next couple of hands is very, very possible.
Or just
and then
an
what?
Ifrit to prime.
Just carry an Ifrit to prime. That is interesting.
That to me signals that Corey's hand's really good. And I'm also curious. We don't attack.
This is
right?
the spot where if we had dealt those extra points of damage, we could potentially be putting our opponent to 6 here. I mean, we might be putting them to 6 with a lot more cards in hand, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of times we do want to play safe against the Wool decks, but they also play the mid game and the grind. Like without damage 3, the deck is still quite impactful.
Right. I don't think the damage 5 was possible because Montleonis doesn't give itself haste, but it was still damage 4.
Oh, okay.
And then this is
so we'd be
5
at damage 5 here
right now. Yeah. But you're right. Like this is the you don't want to attack, but you're pretty far behind. You kind of have to.
Yeah, we unfortunately are not winning this game through attrition.
Yeah.
The Warrior of Light deck will outgrind us. The more Ruffias it sees, the more Clouds, the more Warrior of Lights. Every single one that it sees that we don't see is just going to kind of shoot it up ahead. All right, some exchanging of cards. Cloud came out. Remove some cards. We'll probably see an attack with Warrior of Light before damage. Can I go ahead and remove Ifrit?
Yep. Oh, are we thinking about before attacks? Is that what's going on? Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yep. We're gonna go ahead and shoot before that.
But the Ifrit's still gonna fall to the Warrior Light, so
yeah, we'll probably just still be trading. Yep.
So now I'm a little bit worried here for Corey. I've seen Helvetica's hand and it's really, really good. But
yeah,
my initial, if I didn't take that into account, my initial thought is I think we need another Montleonis play, so we would need a backup into Montleonis to have
Yep.
like a chance to come back. But Helvetica has both Amaterasu and Miss Dragon, so that would blow that out of the water. Because I think if we're playing this attrition game, then Helvetica is gonna run off with the lead.
I agree. And here's another thing that's going to kind of continue that train going. Warrior of Light coming out here. Getting his card draw in. Oh, as a Dane. This is a card that is only a 2 of in Helvetica's list, but definitely pretty impactful. Being able to just control what your opponent's got going on will be pretty big, but is forcing Corey to go ahead and fire off an Ifrit, and he is going to go ahead and stop it.
I was gonna say, I think I actually do Miss Dragon this.
Yeah. Because, yep, this is the hand that you don't want to deal with. Yep.
Yeah, I think I take the Dion.
One. And then I think we're swinging and seeing if we need to deal with something else, too. All right, selfie. I think, as mentioned, maybe? We probably are going to go ahead and... I think we had another Miss Dragon in hand, or maybe it's 2 Amaterasus.
I think it's Amaterasu, Ferris, something else.
Okay.
King Tycoon.
Okay. In that case, yeah, selfie's not a terrible hit. Strangely enough. Right, damage. Demon. Not a terrible hit. Yeah, and Helvetica definitely in the driver's seat for this game, just kind of making sure he does not give any kind of recourse for his opponent. But I like this play lines and definitely just trying to keep his advantage going. Right, reviewing our piles. That's always a thing. I know we mentioned about it with previous priming decks, but definitely just kind of keeping track of how many cards are left here, how many cards are left there. Definitely one of those decks that really makes you keep good track and inventory of where your cards are at all time. The time you go to prime and you have failed to find, you will never make that mistake again.
Yes, exactly. And that is a legal move. You are able to prime and not put something into play like that. And that's likely game over because you paid the cost for nothing. So
yeah. Now of note, if you do that doesn't count as the creature or the forward being primed at that point, though.
Like Dion wouldn't trigger, no.
Yeah. Are those abilities once per turn? I guess that's also another. Can I fail to find multiple times?
I
just started shuffling through my deck.
I think you're technically allowed
asking the real questions.
I'd have to actually look at the exact priming rules. I'm pretty sure it's not once per turn, but I also don't think there's many reasons why you would want to do it twice. So
yeah, maybe if I had an effect that like shuffle. When you shuffle your deck, do something.
Yeah.
Something that does not exist already in Final Fantasy.
With Dion, the fact that it draws a card, some people, that was one of the first questions asked because it's like pay 3 to prime.
Yeah.
Well, if you could pay 3 to draw a card.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're losing 1 CP, but you could cycle out backups and not so great cards to have a chance to draw a good card. So, but you can't do that. It's not considered priming.
All right, and of course that Amaterasu was still chilling in Helvetica's hand. Did come out, stopped the
Ooh,
Clive
unfortunate.
from being relevant. So Bahamut's still in hand. I mean, we leave this at this point, right?
I
Because
would have
it's
left it,
only on
yes.
Prime.
Yep.
It's only on Prime that we do get the ability, and there is only one Bahamut in the deck.
But now, like, in theory, because it's removed from game, like, I don't know how many
The
3
other
Clives are
Clive,
left. Yeah.
yeah, that's actually a little scarier.
You can special.
and break like Cloud or Warrior of Light or Zidane or anything.
Yeah.
Just for S. Yeah, no, that is the exact opposite of what I wanted to do to that Bahamut. Wanted that to just kind of rot in hand for the rest of the game. Because I mean, if yeah. Oh, we're gonna get tricky and
Materasu? Yep.
okay, yep.
And then main phase 2 will
Man,
probably
so that's
ping
all
it.
three Amaterasus coming out. And gonna go ahead and do the thing that we have seen many a times for this Warrior Light. Finish off the forward after Amaterasu. Alvec has been able to set up a board where that has been the case so many times, really getting the maximum value out of all his cards. Love that play.
I think, yeah, we're going to see it. I'm like, play this arc. But theoretically, if we wanted, we could.
We can still give it haste, right?
Well, yeah, but we could Lunith twice on the arc to make it a 10k. So that it would
Sure.
live through the Phoenix. But I guess it doesn't really matter if arc dies, right?
Yeah.
But that's what we're also thinking of here.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth double activating, but I do think it's worth go ahead playing it out, activating, getting in our point of damage, or
Now,
threatening.
We discarded a win card, so we
Oh yeah, we could have
left
tapped
the
all.
Tyro open. Yeah.
Yeah, we tapped an extra back out that we didn't need to there, or yeah.
I don't think it's gonna end up mattering, but
No. And here comes the haste for the threaten for
oh, that's gonna be game
a trade. Yep. Yeah, the Phoenix had to block the arc. And that will do it for this round of our top four. Helvetica will move on to finals. Congratulations for Corey for your qualification and great run. We will see you all back in finals.